Robschild, no investment advice. Welcome to the show where we view financial markets through crystal ball gazing. Today is Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. Main little piece of data that came out, a little surprising. Retail sales came in quite a bit hotter than expected. Granted, the expected was negative 0.4% overall for U.S. retail sales for June. Instead, it was flat 0.0%, and the retail sales minus autos was expected to stay flat at 0.1%, and instead the actual was 0.4%. Also, just a update on the VIX, I did get some UVXY calls today, just a tiny amount, because it just seems so juicy I couldn't let it go. We'll take a look at the VIX in a little bit, and it's still relatively low, and so I'll still continue to state that the longer the VIX stays low, the worrieder I get, in spite of the fact that we seem to have a rotation out of what I've been referring to as fake safety on the mega caps into the Russell 2000 and ARC, and but I'll go through my main points before getting through the charts. So also daily reminder, 2-year, 10-year yield curve inversion is still past its second birthday, and we are still inverted. This cannot go on forever. We can't have this happen for the next 10 years, and when it does invert, typically chaos ensues, and the longer that it stays inverted, typically the chaos is worse. So, depression ahead? I don't know. Guess we'll see. Also, notably, next week we have Thursday GDP and Friday PCE data. That's the next really big pieces of data coming out. On to the charts. We'll start with the SPX, the SPY. We're at an all-time closing high today, once again, even though we seem to have rotation into IWM. As you can see, this giant green candle, this is just crazy how bullish this market has gotten. Considering how sideways we've gone for so long, and then over 4 days, just incredible. This is like a historic move to the upside. But yeah, the longer you go sideways, the bigger the breakout, and we're seeing the breakout, and here it is. I was expecting this to break down the other way, but nope, it's breaking out to the upside. Some people are referring to it as a catch-up trade, considering that the Russell 2000 still hasn't even gotten back up to its 2021 peak, while the S&P 500 has blown way past it. So, is this one of these markets that's just going to keep exploding higher all year, or fade out? I don't really know. I would guess that this would be a blow off top more than anything else, but we'll have to see. Taking a look at the VIX, as I said, so we did we didn't confirm the way Gareth likes to confirm it. He likes to see a close above the breakout candle's wick. So this doesn't really, I don't believe this counts as a confirmation. According to his work as a chartist with all of his experience, we could go back down here, but it certainly does not look weak here. It looks like it wants to go higher to me, so that's why I took a little bite out of some calls on UVXY. A small bite of this market can, especially with a call options contract having 100x, basically 100x leverage, it gives a good chance to participate in it to some degree with a small amount of capital. Next we have TLT, long duration treasury bonds. We saw a pretty strong move up today. I have no idea what's going on here, or if it'll continue. I'm happy about it in a way, because like I've been saying, I have half my portfolio in this, although my whole mantra right now is if it goes lower, along with the right kind of data, I will probably be buying even more into this. I could see myself going 100% into this in the exact right conditions. Notably, the treasury yield, the 30-year treasury yield, based on this little trend line here. If we go bottom to bottom, we broke through a recent trend line. And so, does this have legs to it? Will we finally see a big break in yields to the downside? It seems more probable than it did yesterday or the day before, or the past month or so. So at the very least. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm very interested to see how that works out. I wanted to bring up copper, Dr. Copper, another leading indicator of the copper miners, COPX. We had been going sort of sideways for a while. We have a little bit of a crack to the downside. Interestingly, different from a lot of the other markets. I had mentioned HYT junk bonds yesterday in yesterday's show. Had shown a big crack. That was incorrect. There was a dividend payment, and so a lot of this move down was actually the fact that the fund loses about 6 cents of its value automatically on that date because of the dividend payment, and so it popped right back up today. It's odd how this thing works, right? It doesn't, psychologically, it's very strange to think about this. Like when when you have a security that pays out cash to the owners, it doesn't make the security worth less money. However, if you buy it the day before, that payment, if you buy it trying to get that payment, and then your intention is to sell it out like right after you've been registered as someone that's getting paid it, well, yeah, it should drop in price so you don't automatically make money that way, but at the same time it doesn't actually lose value. It's a really weird thing to really think about. But anyway, point is, it recovered back today. Basically nothing was really going on here in high yield corporate other than it's credit spreads in general are extremely tight considering everything that's going on, where we are in the business cycle and everything. Notably, XHB Home Builders Index had a massive pop today, almost 6% today. These are rare. This is a rare, huge move to the upside, and not only did it break out 6% today, but this is in spite of the data that came out with the home builders' confidence actually came out weaker today, and so very odd thing going on there, in my opinion. Fear and Greed Index, we're now solidly in the middle of fear at 64. I wanted to point out there must be something wrong with this charting on investing.com. I use this as a way to see how rates are changing in these very awesome graphs that show the history of each probability of each meeting. But today we had a switch from previous day 88% to 8%, and now we have a 92% chance of no cut in September, but if you check the CME page, it shows differently. It's that same number as a chance of there being a cut. So I think there's just something wrong with the programming or software. Something went wrong on this website, at least I believe that's what happened. I don't really know what's going on there. If you know better, mention in the comments. ARK K breaking out to the upside massively today. We had, this market has been going basically boringly sideways for a long time, and this seems like a pretty significant breakout. If we just draw some really basic lines here, this trend line starting, what is this, the end of 2023, this is a pretty big breakout here. So this is showing strength, regardless of how I think it is not a very intelligent time to be getting into higher risk, longer duration exposed risk assets like stocks. I don't know, maybe this is just the part of reverting to the mean, right? You have your stages of, this is just the most classic pattern of the stages of overdone stock, where you have the blow off top, and then Anyway, yeah, so is this the reversion to the mean? Are we just going to a normal price? Or is this getting out of hand? I don't really know. I'm not playing this part of the game at this point. I do have some ARC type exposures, but it's very limited at this point. Triple Q's, NASDAQ, I said this big bearish flag looked like we were consolidating. Still seems like to be holding the same pattern here. Looks more bearish than bullish for sure. All while the S&P is finding new highs, and so we're finding a little bit of divergences there, which I find interesting. Next, Bitcoin, I had said that like it looked like we had maybe looked like we might go straight to the Gareth's always target around 70 to 72,000, and we had a little pause today. So, is this going to be one of those blow off tops, or my understanding is that this is very bullish. I mean, pretty clearly, 3 white soldiers here, with no sign of weakness right now, as of right now. So, it seems like it wants to head straight to 70,000 right now. Then wood, one of my other favorite leading indicators, very large move to the upside, 2%, very strong green candle. So, a lot of confidence going on in markets. I'm not sure it will be very long-lived. I'm not sure I believe in it. I'm certainly participating on the opposite side of it. I think the VIX is set to spike up. I think big money's getting ready to do a big rug pull in my own opinion, but that's just me and my crystal ball. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching Robschild.